Welcome back to the Begin Within Health Show, where we're working on improving fitness by improving health, and we are making fitness fit you, not the other way around. I'm glad you're here with me recently back on episode number 191, and I want to thank those of you who gave me some feedback on that episode. I got some good comments on that one. I thought I would pop in here and just iterate on that one a little bit, give you one more angle on that to think about. Go back and listen to that one. We talked about breaking unhealthy habits the easy way, and that was by changing the environment. Experts tell us that habits are very environmentally specific, environmentally dependent. So if we're in a different place, a different environment, those habits aren't there as strong, at least as strong as they used to be. Okay? So go back, listen to that one. It'll give you a nice springboard into this concept. Since habits are environmentally based, we can use a change in our environment to drop a habit that is less healthy or start a habit that is more healthy that we look forward to. But here's another angle on it. We've talked on the show before about the benefit of having some rules for ourselves. Structure equals freedom, right? We give ourselves some structure in terms of some rules. So here's how we can use this idea of habits being environmentally specific, environmentally dependent. If we notice that the environment, a certain environment that we're in, is the environment in which we engage in a behavior that we want to change, in other words, a less healthy habit, or what some people call bad habits. Try to avoid the good, bad judgment here on the Begin Within Health show. But if we notice there's a certain environment where we're engaged in those less healthy habits, the things we want to change, we could certainly just stay out of that environment, right? And that's kind of what we talked about back on episode 191. But here's another idea, especially when we can't avoid a certain environment. We could set up a rule. If you're the type of person that loves rules, you love structure, I'm that type of person. And we can say, hey, I am not going to, bar myself from doing this. So for example, I'm not going to bar myself from eating potato chips. I'm going to give you a little self-disclosure here, maybe too much. For me, if I'm sitting on the couch watching TV and I have a bag of potato chips, and maybe you'll relate to this, maybe you won't. For me, whatever size that bag is, it's a single serving, okay? So what I've done over the years is I'm just aware of that. I'm very aware. And that's the place. If I'm on the couch in front of the TV, that bag is going to get emptied unless I'm very, very careful. So either I don't take chips, I don't take the chip bag to the couch, or I don't eat chips while I'm watching TV on the couch, or I am just very, very careful. Like I realize, hey, I don't want to eat this entire bag of chips. I'm not going to feel good about myself. I'm not going to be happy with that decision. So I know this is something for me to be very, very careful with. And as a result, it's definitely improved over the years. But I realize that it's just a habit that I have. And you can reach out to me on social media if you've got ideas on psychologically what my issue is. I'm happy to hear your diagnoses. I hope it's just a diagnosis, not multiple. But whatever you got, go ahead, fire away. But here's the idea. I'm not saying, for me personally, I can't eat potato chips. Never going to eat them again. What I am saying is, my rule in this case, in this context, would be, I'm not going to eat potato chips out of the bag while I'm sitting on the couch watching TV. See, I've identified the action that I'm going to avoid in a specific environment. And as a result, I might eat potato chips. They might even be in the house. I might just have them in the kitchen. I might sit in a different place. I might not eat them while I'm watching TV, whatever, right? But what's interesting is for me, if I'm not eating and watching TV, I really have very little desire for them. So when we set up the rule, a very simple one, very specific one, it doesn't take away our freedom. It doesn't feel very restrictive because it's so specific. But what it does is it helps us to move forward in a healthier direction. See how that works? So we're taking this from that previous time that we talked about how habits are very dependent on our environment, and we're just adding in a little piece to help us to move in a healthier direction. I'm curious to know what comes up for you as you go through life, having listened to this. Maybe the next day or so, there's, I got an idea for a rule, very specific action in a very specific environment, right? Very specific action in a very specific environment that we're now going to set up a rule about, right? I'm going to avoid doing this in this environment and just see what happens. See what we learn. See how we move forward. I can sit and eat broccoli all I want while I'm watching TV on the couch, right? Or I can eat chips out of the bowl while I'm on the couch watching TV. But for me, bring the whole bag in, I'm going to have a problem. I know that about myself. And so we can set up a little rule and actually move in a much healthier direction. There's much more far-reaching effects than what you even think when you set up a rule like that into your life. And again, structure equals freedom. If you're someone who appreciates that, you'll get it. If you're not a rule person, you don't like it, feels like it just handcuffs and you're just miserable even thinking about it, maybe this is not the one for you. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you find. Shoot me a message at Nate Slager on social media, and we'll talk then. I'll be back here again soon on the Begin Within Health show. Keep taking good care of yourself.